Good evening, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Today I bring you the follow-up. Now, last week I guess I shared with you an unboxing of all 3 trial decks. For today's video, we are going to go in depth and then we will go into the basic gameplay of each trial deck. So for today, as per the title, I'll be doing an in-depth view of D-TD01, Cardfight Vanguard English, blah 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 blah, whatever name it is. So let's reopen the packaging. This is a fresh new one because the one I opened from the previous videos are meant for a trial deck share, which people book their trial decks to have it in either full foil or no foil. So I mean, I believe I do not need to further explain what's inside each, as you've. I mean, I'll put in the link from for the previous video in the description box. As for now, here's the trial deck. The box itself is the deck box, so it's pretty neat. And here's the promo card, Sentinel, and here's the expansion pack. Alright, so first thing first, let's look. I mean, just like in my bahasa in-depth video, I'll be only looking to the important cards in this deck, and then I'll skip over to the cards that are not important and should be put aside. So first things first, of course, you want to have your main unit, which is the Bandmaster of Blossoming. Oh goddamn! Okay, the Bandmaster of Blossoming Bonds, Leolorn, which its skill reads: when it's being rode upon, it's being regarded as Grand March of Full Bloom Leolorn. Basically, its evolved version in BT06, which will be coming out this coming Friday itself. So, PS, if you haven't booked any slots, link in the description box below to book your slots. Okay, so basically you get 4 copies of the main unit. Now skipping these because now these are its actual right lines, but based on this trial deck you get a tutorial version which will explain newbies, or basically people who just don't know how to read Vanguard cards, how to play and how to use the cards. So this goes to the useless pile. Next, you have the Groovy Dragon, which its ability says on attack, when it attacks a Vanguard, and if your back row has 3 or more regards, counterblast 1, and it gets plus 10,000 power until end of battle. Basically, it's a 23k attacker, so pretty sweet over there. But again, okay, I'm gonna add the third pile, the maybe pile, which in turn that it's useful. Kind of if you're playing in a low budget, which I'll make a follow-up video after by next week. Next is Upbeat Dragon, which its skill says that when you intercept and you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, it gets plus 10,000 shield until end of battle. Basically, it's the 15k shield. So again, the maybe pile. Of course, another tutorial cards for players who don't know how to play Vanguard, or basically just players who don't know how to read Vanguard cards. Again, like I said, Bushiroad is blatantly calling us out for being unable to read. So useless pile. Something useful. Yield Elf. Now once per turn, when your Vanguard, not use, it's kind of useful. Okay, so Yield Elf. Once per turn, when your Vanguard is greater or greater, counterblast 2, and you get to draw a card. So this is a draw engine for a trial deck. This is helpful as per my basic strategy. You need draw engine that's not a draw trigger, so at least you can draw out your important components. Again, tutorial card, you don't need this. Useless pile. Now, for the time being, until DBT06 comes out this Friday, your regular Sentinel is indeed a useful card for the time being. Until my following video next week. Next is the Knight of Pure Theodore. Now, what Theodore does is basically says that when it is discarded during your right phase, you may call this card to the rear guard circle. So you discard it and you get a free rear guard. This is pretty handy by itself. So triggers, you guys already know the trigger lineup. So by the way, the start deck itself, the trial deck itself comes with no over trigger. Where do you find it? Now, in case you didn't bother watching the previous video, the over trigger is hidden inside this expansion pack, which is quote unquote mysterious, but not really mysterious because the only random shit you get is the random foil card from the 12 cards here. So yeah, you won't get anything special out of it, trust me. Been there, done that, don't want to explain it further. Now, here's the, see? Tutorial, non-tutorial, tutorial, non-tutorial. So, here's the great one, the Lively Rhythm Blara or Biara. I can't really. Okay, the Biara. So her skill says that when attack this unit boost hits the Vanguard, put a grade 2 or less cards from your hand into your soul. Draw a card. Basically, it's a soul charge engine and a draw engine. And thank goodness that this trial deck provides 3 copies. Yeah, no, actually 4 copies. Here you go. Hey, cats on the back. Spoiler adjourn. You get 4 copies. One of them is a foil based on my completely quote-unquote random expansion pack here. Next card, the Clapping Dragon, which has the ability upon placing onto the front row rearguard circle from your hand, and if your back row has 3 or more rearguard units, counter+1, draw a card, and if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets plus 10,000 power until end of the turn. So it's basically an on-place 23k attacker, which is pretty neat on a situational basis. However, since it is a draw engine, I will place this as the useful card section. Next is the over trigger. Now this is great because since you have options either to run like my previous video, either 3 crits 1 over trigger, 4 draws 1 over trigger, 3 fronts for 1 over trigger, or you want to go crazy, 3 heals 1 over trigger. But since this deck has a lot of useful draw engine cards, so I would reduce for this upcoming playthrough, I would personally reduce 1 draw trigger and in place it with 1 over trigger. So useful card over there. And next, the order card, fun marching. Its skill, by paying the cost of 1 soul blast, all your grade 1 or less rearguards gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. It's a normal order, so basically upon playing it, it goes straight to the drop zone after using it. So I will put this into the maybe pile. And then you have your right lines, which everybody knows for the grade 0, upon riding a grade 1, if you move second, you get to draw an extra card. So no brainer over there. Useful. I don't know if I can zoom out. Oh, I can zoom out. Oh hey, I learned a new trick today. Give me a clap in the comment section, guys. I learned a new trick how to zoom out my camera. I'm amazing now. That's sarcasm. Anyway, the grade 1 right line. This is the Budding of Pleasant Sounds Gracia, which is her first skill. If it's being rode upon by Brilliant Tune Rectina, you may call this card to the rearguard. So basically, it's a rearguard. You basically get a free rearguard from there, and I can see a couple of combo plays from Theodore over there. So pretty neat. And then second skill, during the battle, this unit boosted the Vanguard. This unit gets plus 5,000 power, so basically it's a 13k booster. So with Lialon's ability to do crazy amount of boost, this will be among one of those suggested cards to play. However, there might be other strategies, so you guys please do share your other strategy suggestions into the comment section below, so at least we can share some strategy ideas and tips. We be players, we don't be hating. And that's my pretend black accent. Now here's the last card for this trial deck, which is the Brilliant Tune Rectina, which has the ability of the first skill. When it's being rode upon by a unit with Lialon in its card's name, Soul Blast 1, choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone and superior call it to the rearguard circle. So yes, again, it helps you to add more rearguards that you need. So this is very useful. And her second skill is continued skill. If your back row has 3 or more rearguards, this unit gets boost. So basically, as you already know, most grade 2s has the ability to intercept if they're in the front row. However, this one grants itself the ability to boost if it's in the back row. So very useful over there. So okay, you guys already seen which card I would deem useless. Kind of. Well, trigger's not really kind of okay, and useful. So I'm gonna go off camera, and then we're gonna go straight to the gameplay section. So let me. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to read Lialon's second and third ability. So here's the second ability. On attack, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, and boost this unit with all of your back rows. So meaning that if you can use all of your back rows, all of your back row regards to boost Lialon alone, giving yourself a tremendous power boost until the end of the battle. So boost this unit with all of your back row standing units with boost. So in other words, grade 1 or grade 0, or basically that grade 2 that grants itself boost. If you boosted this unit with 3 or more units, this unit gets plus 1 drive, again a triple drive, so you don't really need much draw triggers anymore since you have that draw engine from your drive check until the end of the battle. And at the end of the battle, choose 2 of your back row rearguards and stand them. So that combo play there, my friends, that combo play over there. Oh yeah, its third and final skill. During the battle that this unit is boosted, it gets an additional 5,000 power. So you could say, I'm not going to do the math on screen because I'm running out of saliva. Let's just say Leon will hit a huge amount of attacks, and yes, Sentinel existed, but fuck that, because each player only runs like about what, 4 Sentinels, and they only have like 4 chances to avoid a huge attack from Leon. So I can see how powerful this card can be in the gameplay section later on. So see you guys very soon. And there you have it, my play test of this deck. Yes, of course I lost because, okay, and I'm also aware there was some misplays, but again, for the record of this video, and we are all the two videos that's gonna come the day after, is that I'm playing this deck completely blind, so that at least at least I get the first-hand experience on piloting each of these three trial decks. Anyway, now let's go on to my section, which I like to call the pro tip section, where I will share to you guys which card you should keep for long-term purposes and what you should upgrade later on. So starting off, okay, I've already, I mean, off camera I've already separated which one you should keep and which one you shouldn't keep. So at least you get a clear idea what should you do. So wait, control, useful, useless. Now starting off with Lialorn. Okay, you want to keep at least one grade 3 trial deck Lialorn, as since BT04 is coming up, and if you have the budget or you're willing to open up a lot of booster packs to get the other version of Lialorn, which is the Grand March of Full Bloom Lialorn, you want that, and it has some somewhat similar but better abilities than this version of Lialorn, so you want that. And then if you're playing on a budget, you know, you don't want to spend too much on blind booster packs, you may want to get 3 more copies of Rectina. So like it or not, you might either have to fork out money for 3 more trial decks just to get Rectina, or if you have friends who are playing Lialorn who doesn't want Rectina, hey, you can swap it off them, because you want Rectina's second ability, which allowing itself to boost. So at least you have an assured 10k booster from there. So that's that's pretty great over there. I mean, so far in terms of right deck lineup, this is completely fine. However, there are other options from previous sets that you might want to look at, especially BT05 Rorowa's right line, where you at least get a extra regard in the form of a plant token. Or you may want to go on with playing Magnolia's version, but Magnolia is much more of a gacha game, so you might not want that. But hey, if you have any better right line like this, share in the comment section below. So this goes to the useful pile. Now you will be getting rid of these once you have the other version of Lialorn, the Grand March version. Otherwise, if you don't have the budget, go for this. Now, not to worry, if you're really on a small budget, but you really want to play Vanguard on an amazing level, now do stay tuned for next week's series called Playing on a Budget, where I will help you guys to upgrade your decks using budget-friendly cards, mostly common cards, and some cheap double triple R cards to improve your deck in the future. But for now, let's just base my pro tip based on whatever I have on hand and whatever we should be preparing ourselves for the future. Now for clamping dragon, now either buy at least another copy of the trial deck just to get 2 more copies of Clapping Dragon, because this is really good. For 1 counterblast you get to draw 1, and it's a 23k attacker. That's for budget friendly purposes. But of course in BT6 and BT7 there are better options than Clapping Dragon. But for now, if you're playing on a tight budget and you really want to draw out Lialorn ASAP, this is one of your guys. So 3 to 4 copies, but since this is just 1 trial deck, so run 2. And then for Biara, now normally I would not recommend this. However, up to my recollection, there are little cards that allow you to soul charge or put cards from your hand into your soul, or put cards from anywhere into the soul to help with your soul cost. So Biara would be fine in terms of pressure building. And imagine if you have all 3 Biara at the back row, and you get to put up to 3 cards to your soul into your Vanguard, and you get to draw 3 additional cards, which is a 1-to-1 exchange, and also helps you to draw out your extra copies of Lialorn for future plays in your game turn. So for at the time being, if you're a budget player, keep it 4. But if you're going for a high budget tactic, there are better options than BR itself. But for now, budget players, keep this in mind. Next, for Yield Elf. Now you may want to run only 2 copies, not 4, 2 copies. This is because number 1, the counterblast cost is a bit heavy. 2 counterblasts just to draw 1 card, and it can only be done once per turn. So yeah, 2 copies in the useless pile and 2 copies in the useful pile. You need that draw engine over there. if let's say you have a better, cheaper draw engine, replace yielding elf, and you replace yield elf, and you get better cards from there. Next, Theodore, keep it at 3. It's good, and Lialon needs her rear guard, so this is good for early rear guard support before your opponent will mow them down, and you have better supports to replace Theodore. But this is good for your starting turns. Especially during your grade 1 and grade 2 turns, because you need that pressure power over there. And of course, standard or premium players, you need this blitz order, because in case you're facing off against an opponent that has the ability to negate sentinels that you play from hand to the guardian circle, this one can bypass it, whereby you're playing a sentinel from your hand to the order zone, which can bypass the guard restriction over there. So yeah, that's all for the useful pile. Now for the useless pile, I'm not gonna elaborate further. Just see for yourself, and you could understand why. Oh yeah, for sentinels, I mean, I know sentinels are needed and useful in that, but BT06 is coming on, and you get brand new sentinels which are free cost sentinels. So might as well replace these 3 with the free cost version. Trigger lineup. Now, since this one does not possess, I mean, the Lialon build does not possess any form of multi-attacker, and I do not see any current support that allows a rear guard to generate its own criticals, might as well, I would suggest for you to run 7 or 8 criticals, and either go for 3 or 4 front triggers. Now, you might want to replace this with the 20k shield front trigger. It's the ghost girl thingy, but not to read, those things will be reprinted in BT07. So suggestion, either run 7 or 8 critical triggers, and run only 4 or 3 front triggers that can grant you a 20k shield. Now for draw triggers, you might run, basically you got after changing your triggers to playing 8 or 7 crits and 3 or 4 draws, 3 or 4 fronts, you might not want to opt for draw triggers, because by that time you should have better draw engine support, or you should have better filter engine support to bring out your rear guards or Lialon from your deck to your hand. Heal trigger, of course, run 4 unless you're crazy. You can run 0 heals. I mean, that's your gameplay. Over trigger, why I put this over trigger in the useless pile, because again, you will BT06 will reprint the Stoichia over trigger, which will be much more helpful in your game later on. So I guess that is all for my pro tips section. Should you have any deck ideas or combos that you want to comment about, leave them in the comment section below. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'll be friendly, but if you're an ass to me, I'll be an ass. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice. So it's a win-win situation. So yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow this channel for more videos like this. Do leave some comments on tell me what you think, or what kind of videos you want to see in the future, so at least I can further improve the channel and get my 1000 subscriber, because, well, I'm running a shop. I got bills to pay and stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, links in the description box to buy this trial deck off from my Facebook. And yeah, that should be all. I appreciate the views and support. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.